All right, my learning in context project is going to be on Trinity Presbyterian School. Trinity Presbyterian School is located off of the Eastern Boulevard and Vaughn Road. You can see Eastern Boulevard kind of runs through the center of the map, and the Interstate 85 is located right above it. And then you have Vaughn Road down there below it. Either of those roads will take you almost directly there. You also have Perry Hill Road, which will pretty much get you right next to the school. You can also see that there are a lot of different attractions or places that you can go around the area. Those are just a few. You can see AUM is only about 5 to 10 minutes most away from Trinity. They offer a lot of different things at their school. They have quite a unique setting and a lot of things to offer with some nice scenery. Some pros and cons, or some assets and challenges of the location, is that it is easily accessible from pretty much anywhere you may come from. Because, like I said, you have Perry Hill Road, you have Vaughn Road, the Eastern Boulevard, or the interstate to get you there, and it's centrally located for different neighborhoods, for different attractions, and for educational tools. And what I mean by that is that because of the location, downtown Montgomery is only about 10 minutes away, and I feel like that's a very good educational tool to have for your students to be learning about Alabama and or Montgomery's history. Now, some of the challenges is that there is a lot of traffic in the area, especially during the beginning of the day when people are going to work or people are going to other schools, because a lot of people actually use the interstate, or they use the Eastern Boulevard or Vaughn Road. And it becomes easily congested in that area because Trinity's has their own road called East Trinity Boulevard, and to get to that road, you have to take one of the major roads. And so, condensing down from anywhere from a 4 to an 8 lane road down to just a 2 lane road causes a lot of congestion and a lot of difficulty getting in and out from school. So it kind of sets a little bit of an inconvenience for everyone getting there because it tends to take a little bit longer. Now, the school in and of itself, like I said, has a lot of nice scenery, has some unique landmarks, and has a lot to offer, not only academically, but a lot of extracurricular activities. They have drama, music, they have lots of different sports, and then they have their honors programs for their academics. Now, the demographics of the school are quite interesting. I knew that it was a predominantly white school, but I never realized how one-sided it was. And so here you can see that there are 890 white students, only 5 Hispanic, 3 Native American, 1 Black, and 7 Asian. Now, the school in and of itself is, aside from ethnicity, it is quite evened out between male and female and between grades. The average number of grade students per grade is about 70. So it's quite an even number when it comes to ages, but as you can see here, the ethnicity among the school is quite uneven. Now, I decided to add the prices to this presentation because I feel like it's a very important part of presenting the challenges and assets. So you can see here that the school can range anywhere from about 4,000 to almost $11,000. So depending on what age your child is, you can start out at a lower price, or you can move up as the ages get older. And military and tuition assistance is available. But to talk about the school's challenges and assets, some assets are that they do offer a lot of extracurricular activities, which is what a fair number of people look for in a school. It is an accredited school, and so that will better prepare students for college. It'll get them ahead of the game and get them more experience to go ahead and graduate sooner. And they also pride themselves on a 100% pass rate. And what that means is that students that apply to college actually get accepted into the colleges that they may apply for. Now, some of the cons is obviously that they have a very limited cultural diversity. Because their school is 98% white, it tends to not allow as much of a learning experience for all the students in being culturally diverse or ethnically diverse. And their tuition is very expensive, which tends to limit their audience or limit their student intake. And they also have an academically biased system. And what I mean by that is that their school is a Christian school, and growing up in a Christian school, I definitely learned a lot, but I also saw that there were certain things not taught or not learned because of their offensiveness or their inappropriateness related to Christianity. And so I feel like there are certain times where it could limit the learning experience of students. Now, to move on to the community around it is the Montgomery area, and Montgomery has a lot to offer, whether it's downtown, to the Capitol building, or to watch the Biscuits, or just enjoy pretty much the stores and shops around in the area, or going in the other direction, going to Shakespeare Park or Atlanta Highway, anything like that. It does offer a good bit to do, and now the demographics is quite different from what the demographics of the school is. You can see here that black citizens have the majority in Montgomery, whereas you also have a disbursement of white, Hispanic, Asian, and other ethnicities. I put other because there were actually several different ethnicities that came up with the next 2%, combining pretty much Pacific Islander or Native American or something, anything like that. And then you see that there's a larger female population here in Montgomery as opposed to the male. Now, the community pros and cons are that the assets that they have is that it is very culturally diverse, and so if these students choose to get out into the community, they will have that cultural diversity, or they will be well introduced to other ethnicities or different cultures that they should be exposed to in schools. Um, Montgomery does do well with community events. They enjoy creating events for people and for having people come out and interact with one another. And they do have a lot of public facilities for people to use, especially in parks. They have a lot of free, family-friendly areas for people to use, and there are a good bit of employment opportunities, especially downtown Montgomery. It's kind of on the rise in reestablishing itself, and so there are a lot of opportunities for people to come and work and to create more of a living here in Montgomery. Now, some of the challenges are obviously that there's quite a large deal of crime that is having to be dealt with, and I feel like it's not very teen or child friendly during the evening hours. And some people feel that children and teenagers should not really be out after dark anyway, but that's just a completely different discussion to have. And so it's kind of my perspective that Montgomery does not allow a safe area for younger children or for younger people to enjoy themselves and to stay safe. And it also challenges the community around it because of the inferred segregation. Um, this is quite a hot topic here in Montgomery because you can see from the demographics that there was pretty close um, amounts between the African American and the white community. And unfortunately, a lot of history has taken place here, and a lot of separation amongst the city has taken place. So Western Montgomery tends to be the black or the African American side of town, whereas East Montgomery tends to be the white side. And this kind of sets the city up for ultimately for failure, because this is not a good quality to have for the community, because a good community really needs to bond together, and it really needs to just kind of have more of a connective feeling towards one another. And so overall, the school is quite interesting. It was very eye-opening to see the difference that it had in in the school as opposed to the community, and it was very eye-opening and educating experience.